Hello, it is Tuesday, which came as a total surprise to me because I attempted to go to the co-op to do the barn purchasing for the week, which is always done on a Tuesday. I attempted to go and do it yesterday, but I was just a day early, and better to be early rather than late, okay? And that's what we're going for at this precise moment in time. And I won at that, totally won at that, so that was fantastic. It's been a stinky hot day today, really yucky, and not interested in this level of heat. It's beyond my capacity for comfortable living. It was only in the 70s, but yuck. It's still yuck, and it was just that kind of oppressive, humidity sort of way. Not as bad as it's been in the past, but my goodness, it was not pleasant. So, yeah. And then we had a job this afternoon at Pilgrim House, which was super. And I made a bit of a boo-boo. I contacted Carol the wrong way to join me. And I got there and Carol hadn't received my message because I didn't send it properly, which is totally and utterly my fault. So it was just Larky, Moose and I. And I seem to remember, and I'd forgotten about this until I was saying to Nick, when we were in there, we saw about 33 people. When we were in there, it's lovely because the priest comes to speak with people, and he, recites the Lord's Prayer, etc. And they partake in communion should they wish. And I totally forgot I'd had experiences with Larky and communion before. And and Larky was off trying to partake in communion again. And the priest is very, very lovely and very accommodating, but he obviously thought that everyone else was getting treats and he wasn't. But so that's something I need to remember. I said to Nick, I was quite embarrassed. I made a right boo-boo, and he said, "You did that last time." And I was like, "Did I?" So I've obviously got previous and blocked it out. So anyway, no harm done, and we're still invited back, which is a relief, so that was good. I did go and get, I did go to pick her, because it was a 2 o'clock job. I went down about 1:30, and Larky and Sizzle were in by themselves. I presume Carleen had gone out in an Uber, because I certainly couldn't find her. I did go and check that she hadn't had a mishap in the bathroom and it was lying on the floor, because that's always a worry, but she wasn't to be seen. And she had been making noises in the morning about going to buy pea seeds and sunflower seeds and planting them. So that's good. As long as she doesn't ask me to do anything with her seeds, because I kill anything that doesn't have a pulse. So let's keep me away from the plants. I think it's fairest to all organic matter. So that was quite a busy day, and it's always made much more difficult when it's hot and yucky, and it looks like this is just the beginning of the hot and yucky weather beginning to come in. So anyway, never mind, can't be helped. And what else is going on? Oh my goodness, Moose is fantastic. Moose is not going to be very pleased with me because I've bought him a dematting brush, and I'm going to be working my way around his little body with that. I was speaking to my friend who has a good friend who's a rabbit breeder, and she shows her rabbits, and she said that a magic potion that she gives each rabbit a teaspoon of every morning is a combination of black oil, sunflower seeds, and what are those green ones? Pumpkin seeds and oats. So they just get a little, and that helps keep them in good condition. And because Mr. Moose is still slightly skinny, I'm going to give him, I think it's to be a palm full of calf manna. And the calf manna is something that we used to use it with Mo, actually, to try and keep weight on her. And it's something that will hopefully help him to put some more flesh on his little bones, shall we say, because he is desperately skinny still. Anyway, so that's what I've started with him. Janine will be absolutely delighted to come back to another round of me and my concoctions for animals. And so that's good. And it looks like we're going to have the pleasure of Janine's beautiful horses on the farm, so they will be absolutely fantastic to watch. And so Sunshine and Chester will be back, and that's just lovely. It'll be very nice for Janine having her horses at home, both down in South Carolina and also up in Massachusetts. So that's very nice. And of course she's going to have her pig. We must remember it is Janine's pig. Apparently it is the most perfectly behaved pig in the whole wide world, so that is fantastic. And I think everybody who was making comments about the pig living with Carleen actually are correct, because it sounds like the plan is for the pig to live with Carleen. I think Janine is trying to housebreak the pig, and that's going to be super fun. So let's not hold our breath here. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. So that should be very interesting. But Carleen and Janine have a plan, and who are we to stand in the way? We shall just stand at the sidelines and observe. So there we go. So that's exciting. And it's supposed to thunder tomorrow as well. That's how oppressive it is. And there was a touch of rain overnight, honestly, and it's that soil is just draining like crazy. So we'd really like a good deluge of rain, but I don't think that's going to be happening. I was just thinking the other day, and I'm trying to work out whether or not this is correct. The things that are out in the ocean that tell the ships which side of something to go to avoid rocks, I call them a buoy. And somebody said to me, that's not what they're called here. They're called a buoy. I couldn't believe that, and I didn't know whether or not they were having a giggle, because I have always understood it to be called a buoy and couldn't see where anybody could get the word buoy from. So if somebody can let me know as to whether or not that is actually a genuine pronunciation, that would be very interesting and colour me surprised. So yeah, that will be exciting. Now, I better go through these questions. Yeah, Hilda, where was my pre-warning of the hot, nasty weather? Failed. It is Tuesday. We do get a discount on the Tuesday. That's why I go on Tuesdays. Because we're all members of the co-op, we get a 10% discount. So it's very important that we do go on a Tuesday. So it means that I take Carleen's car and I load it up and I buy for my animals, my private animals. I buy for Meredith Farm and deliver that round the barns here, and then I buy for Goldie's. So it's quite the undertaking, I can tell you, doing the co-op run, and the good thing about it is, because Carleen's a member, I'm a member of the co-op, and we get this 10% discount. If we just go under our 501c3 banner, it's just the tax that isn't charged, and the tax is only 6%. So look at us, being very careful. That chicken is always out and about, and honestly, they're hilarious. You get out of the car and they come running to tell you a wee story about what's been happening. They are so sweet. I love those wee chickens. And I will say that all of the chickens up the hill they've obviously got a gap in the fence somewhere, because at least half of the flock from up the hill are round about as well. So yeah, so that's fun. Now, let me see if there's any more questions. Oof, I feel all topsy-turvy because I did afternoon chores here this morning, and now all I've got to do is feeding, and all over the place. Can Percy live in the fenced area next to the tea tent where the chickens? Yes, he could live in there, but I think he's used to free roaming, and I think he also might get pretty big. So yeah, we could do that. I'm broadcasting from the tack room. Yes. Well, you know what? I always think with animals, we always try it. If it doesn't work, then we amend our approach. So nothing is ever fixed in in stone. Buoy. Oh my goodness. Buoy. It's really white. It's a boy in the UK. Boy. 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 Yeah, Buoy. Boy. Buoy. Honestly, that's as bad as that aluminium and what do you call it? Aluminum. Oh, goodness. Yes, there we go. That's the perfect comment, Linda. Buoy for boy. Crikey. No. I know that's actually, I was saying to Janine this morning, I said, we've not even hit the mid-April sort of like temperatures and it's already too much for me. I said I've wilted, and that was at 9:30 this morning. Even worse. Janine has an arrival date when she appears. That's the best one I can do, because it's all dependent upon animals and her getting her house locked off down there, and how long it also takes, because she'll have to stop on the way up for a break. And yeah, so yeah, that's a how long is a piece of string comment. Yeah, Nick, I think, is absolutely exhausted. On Saturday, and you probably didn't see, he'd cleaned out the duck house, and he cleaned out the driveway part up to the duck house, and it took him 7 hours and a lot of really heavy wheelbarrows. And so I think he is absolutely exhausted, because he is working full time till about 9 o'clock at night. His relaxation is going to do the barn, for which I am eternally grateful. Oh, and the barn cam. 2 dogs running at the back of the fence on the barn cam. No, there's people who walk along that back fence line to get into the state forest, so it's maybe been that. Nick and his ducks. It's hilarious. Nick's got a duck sitting on eggs. Not best impressed. And his ducks are all still living. I find that amazing. And he's just really taken with them, and they seem to be really taken with him. And yeah, so he's having a great time. Yes, there's one that's still broody. Apparently they can take up to, that's a muscovy, so it can take up to 36 days. And he's trying to remember when it first started sitting on all these blinking eggs. Oh, good. Only a few days of hot weather. It's very difficult because, as everybody will appreciate, everything is an outdoor job here. And when the hot weather and the humidity is high, it's miserable. And you can't really go and hide inside, because everything is outside. It would be fun to have ducklings, but you know what happens with ducklings? They grow into big ducks and then they hiss at you, because those blinking muscovies, they hiss because they're related to geese. Oh, there we go. So that was Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and we'll be speaking with Janine. And then I'll be back on Thursday, and I think Judy is maybe still stuck in Hawaii, and there's worse places to be stuck, let's face it. And tomorrow's job is in Woburn, and I am desperately hoping that Judy gets here in time, because I hate that trip down to Woburn. I just hate that part of the road. It's very difficult. So anyway, onwards and upwards and sideways and whatever way we decide to go. Thank you so very much for joining me, and I will speak with you on Thursday. See you all later. Bye-bye. Oh, do we get a chance to take a nice vacation for a week or two? No. Well, I don't think we've had a vacation in over 10 years. That was obviously a very important question to answer. Night, night.